Hello, welcome to Avasam Insights. My name's Mark, and in this video I want to talk to you about troubleshooting errors and problems which come after you've started creating new products in Avasam. Please note that this video is only covering the creation of simple products, so not variation products. We have separate videos for that and separate documentation. So when there are issues with any product, whether it's an import file or manually being entered into the system, then it will be held for review because it doesn't go straight into the inventory. It goes via staging, where the system checks for basics and our catalog team check for more complex problems. So broadly speaking, the system will create a product in staging, review it. If it's been flagged as having an error, you'll get 30 days in which to review and update it, and then it can be resubmitted for checking and in order to be made live. So it's important that you understand how this works so that we can make sure that you don't lose products without realizing it. So I would suggest that once you've submitted everything and the import is completed, for example, or once you've hit save, then under my products, the best place to look initially is fixed stranded products. So in here are all the products that are in staging, and up the top here we have filter buttons with the different stages. So a SKU that's on hold is one that has been checked, has an issue, and needs to be reviewed and updated. So remember that it's on hold for up to 30 days before it is rejected. A rejected SKU is one which hasn't been updated in a sufficient period of time, and therefore isn't going to be going live until you've talked to the catalog team about it. A blocked SKU is a product that violates one of our rejected product type issues. So it may have a rejected or banned keyword in there, such as a brand name. It may also be of a product type that we do not allow to sell either. So these will not be passed on at all, they have been blocked. Anything that's under review is currently in the staging system and staging environment, being checked by the staging system and by the catalog team. The last one, which we'll cover a bit more detail shortly, is just to say these are products that have been flagged for deletion and are in the process of being done so. So in addition to being able to click on one of these buttons to filter, you can also filter by typing in a SKU title, barcode or product ID there, or you can apply other filters which, as you can see, appear here in pink and can be deleted by clicking on the X. So those filters can include the price excluding VAT, the stock level, the system expected to have, which stage it's at as per the buttons that we were just referencing, and the specific product category you're looking for. So once you have an appropriate filter, then you can scroll as necessary or narrow it down still further until you can find the product that you want to edit and review. So I'm just going to use this one here. So this is showing up as rejected. Which means that someone did not complete it properly and did not respond to the error that was flagged for it. If we move down here, so as we can see, a lot of these are under review. So I'm going to look for SKUs on hold for here. So I'm going to grab this one, which has a VAT rate issue. So as you can see here, when this was created, it wasn't entered. So it shows you the error next to the field, and we can delete it and retype it with the correct value, for example. Similarly, product weight is required as well, so we can do the same there. So that wouldn't take long to do, and we also need to find an image for it and a description. So as you see, this all adds up, but as you deal with these issues and add the appropriate information in, these will clear down and you'll have fully populated red fields, and you'll have an option to save all the work you've done. So I'm going to jump back out now. Now, as you can see here, if I'd hovered over it initially before I jumped in, we get an idea of what's missing as well, but it's specifically against those fields when we're inside there. Now, for any of these, once you address the problems and you save it, it will be passed back into the staging environment, hopefully to go live very shortly thereafter. If there's anything that's been missed or another problem, it will loop back into here for you to re-attack and re-evaluate the problem later on. As long as that works, then your products will become live. Hopefully, if it's all submitted correctly, you'll have very few products to worry about in here that are anything other than on hold. If you ever want to bugger back and double check where things stand, you can always toggle back to My Products, which of course is the products you have which are live. And you'll work through that as you do product creation. Hopefully your stranded products should generally be empty, and as I said, if you do have anything on hold, you do have 30 days to deal with it, so that should be the first place to check. If the product hasn't shown in that section either, the other alternative is to jump into settings and import, look for the import you did and check the logs in case there's a problem with the actual log itself, with the import itself. So in this case, not a problem because we haven't used that yet. Where it has been used though, you'll be able to see if an import was successful or not, and if so, why. But as a general rule, the system will try and pull everything in and pass it into staging, so you should not need to be in here very often. Now, the other thing I wanted to talk to you about is deletion. So as you can understand, if you have a product in here that is live and you want to remove it from sale, it is complicated by the fact that people have these listed on their websites and their marketplaces, and the system needs to make sure that they don't get left with orders that you can't fulfill. So what we do now is we ask you to start off by jumping into your My Products and your inventory, find the product itself, and you're going to jump into the product, make sure it's the correct one. Under action you have delete. So once you've deleted a product, the system updates it to deleting, so it will show up in the stranded products as deleting. The first thing we'll do is we will zero the stock level, which allows us to synchronize that out to all the sellers' listings that have linked products and get confirmation back that they've been marked as out of stock. Once that has been done and everything has been zeroed, we will then get those sellers accounts to unlink those listings because they're now out of stock and the product doesn't need to be linked to them because you're removing it, and then we will remove the product from stock. This can take up to 3 days, but this is to make sure also that where someone has issues with a connection to their store, for example, that we can make sure that as best as possible we are deleting and zeroing the item, removing it, rather than having to worry about people complaining about orders for something that came through because their site thought it was in stock, for example. Once it's been removed entirely, that will then be removed from the deleting status in stranded products, and it will be gone. So of course, thank you again for listening to this video, and thank you for taking time to go through everything. As always, if you have questions and they're not covered in the documentation, you can reach out to us, whether it's by live chat, the support tickets to the technical team, or calling or emailing your support from your supplier account representative. Thank you very much once again.